Hi everyone, Tim Hodges welcoming you back to Speedcafe.com. It's the Crimsafe V8 Supercar Endurance Countdown. I'm joined by Jack Perkins and John Bow. Today guys, we're looking at Jim Beam Racing, Dick Johnson Racing. He has 4 cars heading to Sandown and Bathurst this year, but it has been a very tough year for Dick's team, hasn't it?
It has really. I mean, if you're talking on form this season, that they haven't really showed any, which is disappointing because this time last year I had the 17 car of Stephen Johnson as a roughie to win the race, and it's just going to be hard for them to do that this year based on their sort of lack of speed that they've shown in the rounds up to this stage.
JB, Dick's a good friend of yours. I mean, has his confidence been shot? Has the team's confidence been shot with just a brutal season to date?
Well, I have a very soft spot in my heart for DJR because I spent a lot of time there. Dick's a friend and Stephen's a friend as well, but I think they pay the price for trying to run 4 cars. I mean, if you look at any of the teams that are running more than 2 cars, they struggle from time to time. And I think to expand into 4 cars, it's not that it's hard to run the cars, it's hard to collect all the people around that make it all happen properly. And I think that's the issue they're having, to be honest. I could see one of their cars going okay if all the marbles fall the right way, but I think, to go to those races with 4 cars is biting off way too much. Before
we get to previewing each car one by one, let's talk to Stephen Johnson from Dick Johnson Racing. Speedcafe.com's Grant Rowley caught up with him just about the sheer logistics of running 4 cars at the Bathurst 1000.
Thanks guys, I've got Steve Johnson here. Steve, Dick Johnson Racing running 4 cars for the first time ever at Bathurst. How do you think it'll go?
Yeah, it's it's been a massive year to date. To expand what we've expanded from 2 cars essentially to 4. 60 plus staff now, and to have 4 cars in the main game. We've had obviously more. We've had 4 to 5 cars in total if you include Dev Series in the past, but now in the main game 4 cars, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a massive, massive infrastructure now to take to the endurance races. We've got 4 really good co-drivers this year, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Stephen Johnson there from Jim Beam Racing. So boys, the 12, the 17, the 18 and the 49. I'd like to suggest maybe it's the 18 of James Moffat and Alex Davison present the best chance for Dick's team to have some sort of success. Would that be about right?
Well, I think Stephen and Alan Simonson have got a good chance. Alan Simonson's very credentialed as a co-driver, does a very good job. The co-driver's role at Bathurst particularly is to bring the car back in one piece, so the last little bit of the race, as it's changed over the years, the lead driver gets in and races to the finish. Alan Simonson's good at that. Stevie on his day is as good as anyone out there. But in V8 supercars, if you don't have the right car, if the car's not working for you on the day, you can't carry it, and so it will depend on how they go with thetheir car setup, basically.
Jack, Moff's a good mate of yours. We had him on a radio show we did a couple of weeks ago, and he said his year to date had been a fail. Can they turn it around for 2 races?
Well, I think they can. Like James has got a very good co-driver in Alex Davison, but I must admit I like the pairing of Steve Owen and Paul Morris. A bit of continuity from last year. Obviously they were driving in a 888 Holden for Paul's team last year, but having that continuity, I know Steve Owen really fires up at Bathurst. He ran with Team Vodafone only a couple of years ago, so he would be a good contender to put that thing in the top 10 shootout, which is a pretty good part of the Saturday at Bathurst. And Paul did a pretty good job last year in his second stint. He raced quite well and handed the car back in one piece, which is what JB said. You really need that of a co-driver. So, look, I think they've got some solid pairings here, but hopefully, the cars are quick enough to take it to the next level. But a top 5 would be a pretty good effort for these guys.
Now, this will be interesting. The Speedcafe's Crimsafe rating. It's presented by Dick Johnson. What kind of a grading will Dick Johnson give his own team? Over to you, Dick.
Now this is the team you have to watch. Speedcafe's rating on this team, which is ours, 5 out of 10. They got to be joking. We go good at Bathurst, so just look out.
Thanks, Dick. Brutal honesty there from Dick Johnson as he presents the Crimsafe V8 Supercar Endurance rating. 5 out of 10, boys. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, again, based on the current form it is, but They generally do have a better run at Bathurst than other teams. Obviously a lot of history there. They know how the race works. They've got some good drivers, good engineers. They've just got to make it work on the day, and it's as simple as that.
Very true, and I would rate them at 6, but I think they're going to struggle with 4 cars and trying to keep all that cohesive and organised. So I don't think, unfortunately, I'd love to see DJR win Bathurst, but I don't think they're going to.
So a number, boys, what's their best chance of having success? 17, 18, 49 or 12?
Out of 10, you mean?
No, out the 4 cars of Dick's.
Which one? I think 17, yeah. I think 17, but I agree with what Jack says. I think, you know, the Moffat, Alex Davison car's strong. Steve Owen's capable of anything on a good day. Paul Morris likewise. I mean, I drove in the 12-hour race a couple of years ago with Paul Morris, and he did a fantastic job, and he's very, very smart strategically. So, you know, anything could happen, but winning's winning, and it's not that easy.
I think that was 17. He went for you.
Look, I find it very hard to split them all, to be honest, but if I had to put my money somewhere, I'm going to go with the Norton Moffat Alex Davison combination. Good bit of youth and a bit of experience there, and I think they'd love to have a good job for the whole team.
All right, there you go, the 4-car Dick Johnson Racing team. Stick with us tomorrow. More Crimsafe V8 Supercar Endurance Countdown. We'll look at the 4-car Kelly Racing team. That's tomorrow on speedcafe.com. You can win a very rare piece of V8 Supercar memorabilia. Collect Dick Johnson's Speedcafe Crimsafe Ratings, and you can use those ratings to enter the draw to win a brand new 18-inch V8 Supercar control wheel signed by Craig Lowndes. Make sure you keep logging on to speedcafe.com for more details on how you can win.
Watch me race, Grandpa.
Protecting the things you love is really important. That's why when it comes to security screens, ask for the real Crimsafe. Look out for the rock. If it's not Crimsafe,
It's not Crimsafe.